introduction and pledge to the flag. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call this meeting of the Monongalia County Commission to order. It is Wednesday, October 30th, 2024 at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let the record reflect that all three commissioners are present. First item on the agenda is the consent and approval with Renetta McClure, our county administrator. Good morning.
Hey, Renetta.
Hi. 14 exonerations for $3,667.36. Minutes for October 23rd, 2024. Vouchers, General County Fund, $946,729.34. 911, $1,593.68. Mason-Dixon Park, $610.48. Opioid settlement funds, $36,031.76. Assessor's valuation, $231.86. Dave Report Center, $105.5532. Payroll, $1,194,909.46. Purchasing card vouchers, General County, $13,048.23. Home confinement, $6,774.75. Mason-Dixon Park, $166.10, for a voucher total of $2,305,150.98. We have no budget revisions. Position vacancies for boards and authorities are listed on the county website, and fiduciary orders for October 30th, 2024.
Motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Yeah, aye.
Aye. Yay. A.
Aye.
Oh, yeah.
A.
We just switched to Canada
Rocky
for a
changed.
second. We do have one other fiduciary item.
Yes, an objection to the settlement in the estate of Mildred Hilling.
I'd make a motion to refer the objection to a fiduciary commissioner.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and second. Any further discussion?
It's pretty self-explanatory. I don't even know if a hearing will be required or if the fiduciary commissioner can just handle it based on the pleading, so I don't see necessary to set a
Yeah, this just
a
seems
hearing
like
at this
there was a
point.
question about the funeral expenses that that needs to be ironed out, but it doesn't. This is a very not a big ticket item, so they ought to be
Right.
able to resolve it. So
I guess I'll amend that in the event the fiduciary commissioner determines a hearing is necessary, that the normal course of the complaining party will be required to post a hearing bond within 30 days of the request for the hearing.
I'll
In the
accept
amount
the
of-
amendment.
okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Any other fiduciary items?
No, sir.
Introduction of new employee personnel changes.
None this
None.
week.
Wow.
Comments from the public. We'll now open the comments from the public session of the meeting. Anybody wishing to be heard, please raise their hand, come forward.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Mike Payton, live in McCurdy'sville. Also work for the United Mine Workers of America, representative of the Mon County Assessor employees. And we had a work session scheduled today that I was truly looking forward to. I was a little disappointed when it was canceled, and I received your response on why you had to cancel that meeting. It's being looked upon like it is a political football being kicked down the road till after the election. I guess I rise today. We've all bought furniture in a box, junk, bicycles, toys for our kids. We put things together. And the instructions all say in the beginning, do not skip a step. Okay? And it got me thinking that I believe that we are looking at the legality of the collective bargaining part, step 6, 7, 8, 9, and we've kind of skipped something. So this commission has agreed that people have a right to unionize. And that's a national right that no politician in our state can take away. That they will have to pry it from our cold, dead hands before we ever give up our right to unionize. So I'm asking this commission today to take your public position publicly, either in this meeting, to this gentleman, to anybody today, on your position of the voice of the workers of the assessor's office. Now, we conducted an election. You all referred that. It was fair. We had a neutral, overwhelmingly, to support the United Mine Workers. So it can't be kicked down the road. It can't be kicked. The can is in a corner. So I'm going to pick it up and put it in your court. Does this commission recognize that the employees properly voted to unionize and that they voted for the United Mine Workers to be their representative? It's as simple as a yes or a no. And any kind of a no would absolutely, or any kind of an evade, there's no dancing, there's no nothing we can do. If we evade that question, it'll be looked upon by all those in Mon County that you all do not support them unionizing. So it's as simple as the McCain deal. It's as simple as a yes or a no. There's no dancing, there's no legal, we don't have to call legal. Do you all recognize us as their representative or not?
Thank you, Mr. Payton.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. Seeing none, I'll go ahead and close the public portion of the meeting. Grants, Colleen Kuhn, Commission Office Manager.
Morning, Colleen.
Good
Morning.
morning. Okay. So first up, I have a grant application for the Records Management and Preservation Board grant. The county clerk's office is requesting $21,872.70. So with that, you will have to sign the certification form and the following resolution of support. And that reads, whereas the County Commission of Monongalia County believes in the promotion of the principles of efficient records management and preservation, and whereas the Records Management and Preservation Board awards grants to county commissions to assist office holders in the management and preservation of county records, and whereas the County of Monongalia is submitting one application for funding through the West Virginia Division of Culture and History, and whereas the Records Management and Preservation Board's grant program requires that the County Commission enter into a contractual agreement with the West Virginia Division of Culture and History to receive and administer grant funds. Now therefore be it resolved that the Monongalia County Commission hereby fully supports the project submitted by the Monongalia County Clerk and will comply with all reporting deadlines, budget, purchasing, and reporting requirements as indicated in the grant agreement. So there's that one. Sorry. And the next item I have is the grant contract for the VOCA grant. We were awarded $125,730. For that one, I have the following resolution. The Commission of Monongalia County met on Wednesday, October 30th, 2024, with a quorum present and passed the following resolution. Be it resolved, the Commission hereby authorizes Sean P. Sikora, President of the Monongalia County Commission, to act on its behalf to enter into a contractual agreement with the Division of Administrative Services, Justice and Community Services Section to receive and administer grant funds pursuant to the provisions of the Victim of Crimes Act grant program. And then with that is the grant contract. Schedule of payments to receive quarterly payments, standard conditions and assurances, federal standard conditions and assurances, certifications regarding lobbying, certification form, compliance with the Equal Employment Opportunity Plan requirements, and a disclosure of lobbying activities.
Okay.
And that's all I have.
I'll make the first motion to approve the president signing the grant application on the first item mentioned.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And secondly, I'll move to have the president sign the grant contract for the Victims of Crime Act as presented by Ms. Kuhn.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
You're welcome. Correspondence. Letter of resignation received from Frank Vitale regarding his term on the Monongalia County Deputy Sheriff Civil Service Commission.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, no,
I'll
please.
just move to approve the letter as received.
Second.
Okay.
Pretty
And
self-explanatory.
I really appreciate Frank's service. I haven't talked to him. I'm not sure what his reason is for resigning, but I know that he's served on this board for a long time, and we do certainly appreciate his wishes, and we do appreciate his service. So, having said that, we have a first and second. All those in favor of approving the resignation signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Bow Park first quarter levy report. It is what it is.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay, so we have a number of other items that weren't on the agenda. The first one is a letter to the UMWA from this commission regarding the clarifying the purpose of our work session that was scheduled for today. That was sent out last Thursday. The second item on the correspondence is a letter we received from UMWA Legal Counsel that was received on the 28th, which was what, Monday? Received Monday afternoon, which we shared with our legal counsel. And the third item is a letter to the legal counsel and the UMWA indicating that based on receipt of this letter, we needed time for our legal counsel to process it. So we needed to postpone. We didn't cancel the meeting. We needed to postpone the meeting with the UMWA. So those are the three different pieces of correspondence that occurred outside of the what was on the agenda. Do we have any other items?
I have one. I received an email from Zach Sensible concerning Cheat Road. Very concerned that the turns on Cheat Road are very bumpy since the asphalt has shifted, and it's great concern that many of the people now have to drive in the opposite lane to avoid them. He understands that the road may not be paved, but he's requesting that maybe they could put something down to, or mill it, so at least the rough spots on the turns, and with your permission, I will send that off to the DOH.
Sure.
Any other correspondence?
No, none from me.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is unfinished business. We have none. New business. Consideration to approve requisition 14 for the University Town Center Series 2023A Property Tax District Administrative Expense Fund.
The requisition is for $18,857.50.
Move to approve the requisition as presented.
Second?
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Consideration to approve requisition number 95 for the University Town Center Excise Tax District Administrative Expense Fund.
Requisition is for $24,161.25.
Move to approve as presented.
Second?
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
To consider for approval requisition number 33 for the Series 2021B Harmony Grove Phase 1 Project Fund.
Requisition is for $40,150.
Move to approve as presented.
Second?
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Consideration of the amendments to the facility development agreements dated December 16, 2020 related to Mountain State Clean Energy LLC and Mountain State Renewable LLC.
Move to approve the amendments.
Second?
Okay. And for clarification, this is in regards to the agreements that we put in place with Mountain State Energy LLC and Mountain State Renewable LLC. A whole series of agreements that we put in place, including a pilot agreement. We were coming up, there were dates in there. It was anticipated that the financing would be completed in a 5-year period. We're running up on that date. We have been in conversations with Mountain State. I've been on behalf of the commission, and they are anticipating that that financing is imminent and would be completed sometime shortly. They hopefully within the next year or so. So we asked both our legal counsels to get together to extend the agreement so that there would be no problem once they arrive at their financing, which again they feel is imminent. So
Great.
we have a first and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any other new business?
No, sir.
Okay. Reports from elected officials and/or department supervisors? Okay, seeing none. Reports from county commissioners. Tom?
Yeah, all three of us yesterday were available to meet with the governor and talk with him, and very excited that we received, not we, the Mylan Park received $1 million for the second phase for the KOA. And I think while talking with him, he was very excited about what's going on and what is happening in Mon County, and he wanted to thank us. So and that is one way of thanking us, so we're very appreciative of that. The other is, I want to thank the Morgantown Mall. They provided the space, so we had our Morgantown Food Bank program, and we had 300 families that participated, and I do want to thank them, and then they have some exciting things that are going to be announced in the next 2 weeks.
Great. As Commissioner Bloom said, it was the KOA presentation was a welcome surprise for that project. It's allowing them to move forward with the cabins. So in addition to the camping spots for RVs and for tents and for things like that, they're also going to have these beautiful cabins that can be rented and bring more people in to Mon County. And every night that they stay here is bringing people in to eat at our restaurants and utilize our businesses. And every night they stay, that project has agreed to be part of our tourism advancement, to where when there will be the tax for staying in the hotel will apply to those cabins as well, which is something that they didn't necessarily have to do, but we're grateful that that's a part of the way the project's moving forward. I had an MCR board meeting yesterday that I had to miss, actually, for some personal conflicts, but I got a report that everything there is still moving along on their projects. Early voting is going on. It's been a record turnout so far. I spoke with our clerk the other day, and they are seeing record turnouts at the early voting locations, so keep getting the vote out. And that's all I've got.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Arnett. Since the last meeting, last Thursday, I had a Mylan Park Foundation board meeting. And yes, this announcement that we went to, was that yesterday? Monday. Geez, my days are getting blurred. The announcement we went to on Monday wasn't even talked about in our board meeting on last Thursday, because this came up quickly.
Fell out of the sky.
Yeah, it fell out of the sky. So we had our Mylan Park board meeting last Thursday, and then in the afternoon, or actually after that, I participated with the administrator in a training session with her supervisors, all supervisors that are under the purview of the County Commission, in regards to evaluation, employee evaluation. So that process has been kicked off. Friday, we had staff reports, and then I have my broadband Comcast call. Monday, we had a call with legal counsel. It was a scheduled call in the morning. After that, I had a broadband call with our local team. And then, as Commissioner Arnett and Commissioner Bloom had indicated, we went to the governor's check presentation at Mylan Park. Today's a regular day with one work session. Tomorrow, I have a Juma budget meeting. Friday, we have staff reports. And on Saturday, we have our monthly breakfast. So this time it's being held at Joe Statler's personal cabin. Ooh. So it's going to be interesting heading out there first thing in the morning on Saturday. I do feel the need to explain one thing. Those that have watched this commission through the years know that I utilize a phrase all the time. It's a quote from Brigham Young, which is actually attributed to Confucius. It says, "He who takes offense when no offense is intended is a fool, and he who takes offense when offense is intended is a greater fool." I never thought I needed to explain where this quote comes from. It's really self-deprecating towards myself. Most people are easily offended as public servants. I think that we should hold ourselves to a higher standard. And basically the phrase is meant as self-regulating guidance to myself to lighten up and not to take things so personally, as there's always a possibility I may not understand what the other person is coming from. And if I take offense, I am a fool. Let me repeat that. I am a fool. I'm not referring to any member of the public or anybody that's addressing us. The second part of that is based on the realization that if we do that, and what we do, the people might actually mean to say offensive or hurtful things out of their own personal beliefs, or maybe in today's society they're just trying to be offensive. But again, we need to hold ourselves to a higher standard and not be offended by that. And that was the only point I was making. I understood that that was taken as I was calling people in our attendance fools, which couldn't be farther from the truth. Nobody from the public that ever comes in here is ever insulted, or it never doesn't get to have their voice heard. And I didn't, the implication that otherwise, or that we don't listen to the public is patently unfalse. But it's patently false. But as public servants, we're required to listen to any and everybody. Last week we had a long meeting, and most comments I had after that meeting and regarding that public meeting was that I let it go too long, that I let people talk too much, that I let too many people be heard. And I thought that was kind of ridiculous, that that we as public servants should worry about letting people be heard and letting people talk too much. And then just yesterday and the day before, we got correspondence from the people that were on the other side of that issue that were saying, I don't feel I was heard enough, and I didn't get to say this, or I didn't get to say that. So as public officials, we try to err on the side of transparency and making sure that everybody's heard, and hopefully this commission, better than any commission in the state, gets it right. We're not always perfect, but we certainly strive for perfection. So that's all I had to say.
Move to adjourn?
Second?
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye.